How's it going, everyone? Wanted to show you a little macaroni and cheese today for our COVID-19 quarantine lunch. If you want to come over here, I want to show you what we've already gotten started. I've got some bacon that we just chopped up real small. You can see in here that it's almost completely golden brown and cooked. We've just been rendering it really slowly over moderate heat. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes. So this is pretty much there. You can see how it's just browning up really nice, and there's quite a lot of bacon fat in there, but don't worry about it. Since we're making macaroni and cheese in this one pan, we're basically starting the base of the sauce right now. So let me show you what you need. I got a little fresh garlic and some freshly chopped rosemary. We have tons of rosemary here at home, so we're using it. This is a great way to start infusing and building flavor into the macaroni and cheese. Like right away, you could really smell the oil from the rosemary. You could smell the garlic starting to pick up. It's really, really fragrant. So since we're making like a one-pan dish, we want to have multiple components of a complete meal in it. So we've got a little protein in there. We've got some broccoli. I got some fresh broccoli. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You could use anything you want. It could be frozen. Just make sure if you are using frozen vegetables, you let them defrost and drain them, because the excess moisture is actually going to compromise the consistency of the sauce at the very end. So just let that broccoli just start to saute in all that bacon fat. Keep tossing it really gently. You don't want to break up the florets or anything like that. This is a good time to start seasoning as well. So I've got some sea salt. A little bit of salt helps extract some of the moisture from the broccoli, which we want. We want to rapidly cook that down. And a few twists of white pepper. It doesn't have to be white pepper, but I'm in the mood for white pepper today. All right, well, that's coming along nicely. Next thing you want to do, and this is kind of where the thickening magic happens, you want to do this technique. It's called sanger, and that's a French term. And we're basically going to sanger this, and what that means is we're going to dust our ingredients in here lightly with flour, just a couple tablespoons. Not too much. But basically, this kind of replaces what roux would do. If you don't know what roux is basically the combination of butter and flour cooked to form like a paste, almost like wet sand. And you add that to soups or sauces, and that thickens whatever it is that you're making. But butter is expensive, so when you sanger something, it becomes more economical because you're not really putting the addition of butter in anything. You're actually using the fat that's already naturally been a byproduct of what you're making, like this. So we use the bacon fat and it combined with the flour, and you can see how it's pretty much soaked it all up. It's excellent. We're going to deglaze our pan. I got a little white wine here. If you don't have white wine, don't worry about it. You can use water, you can use chicken stock, but I just want to introduce some moisture to this. Now you can actually see that it's rapidly evaporated. I'm going to go ahead and add our milk. This is just regular whole milk. I'm going to turn the heat up. We have an electric stove, which isn't the greatest, but at least it's something. This will start to heat up rapidly fast, so just keep your eye on it. You can see how it's starting to thicken right here. I'm going to have a little bit more. That's great. Just let that come up to a full boil again. Meanwhile, you could start getting some other things ready. We've got some pasta. We cooked pasta the other day. We didn't use all of it, but this is a great way to use some pre-prepped pasta. We got this little mini penne. It's kind of nice. You can see again how fast that came back to the boil. Not too thick. It's nice and just enough, because there's starch in the pasta. So we're gonna go ahead and add that. We might not need all of it. Maybe a little bit. Perfect. Give that a little toss. Now you might be looking at it like, wow, where'd all our sauce go? No problem, because when we cook that pasta, I actually saved the water from the pasta. And we're gonna use that to just stretch that out a little bit. Don't waste any of that pasta water. It's a great thing to cook with. It's a great thing for soups or anything. Anything's better than water, because water's kind of tasteless. So we're using it, it's good. All right, so that looks kind of loose, which we want it that way, because now we're gonna add our cheese. So we've got some shredded mozzarella cheese. It could be any cheese you want. It doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be, but I have a ton of it and I wanna use it. So I'm just gonna add that right into our pan. I'm gonna save some of it, not all of it, because we're gonna sprinkle some on top in a minute. So you can actually see how it's thickened up. I'm just gonna give that a quick toss. And go ahead and turn the heat off now. I'm gonna finish it with some whole grape tomatoes. The tomatoes are just gonna add a little acidity to the dish. It's already got kind of a rich flavor profile. There we go. See how loose that is? It looks loose, but it's not. I'm gonna come over into the broiler. I've had a high broiler on with a cast iron skillet heating up inside already. From here, I'm just gonna transfer our macaroni and cheese right into the hot skillet. Oh, that's nice. This is heavy, good Lord. All right, make sure you get everything out of there. If you can stand it, it's hot and heavy. Perfect. Now we got our cheese. Just kind of level that out. Sprinkle a little bit of cheese, and unfortunately you're not going to be able to see how golden brown and bubbly it gets, but you're just going to have to take my word for it. We're going to pop it right underneath this hot broiler, and I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the fastest and the best macaroni and cheeses you've probably ever had. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. I'll see you soon.